Alright guys, welcome back to Gaming News and Breakdowns, and in today's video we're going to be going over the changes that Xbox has made to their Game Pass regarding price, as well as some of the things that have been added to it, as well as some of the other news that has come out over the past week regarding Xbox and some interesting information regarding it in stores. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. Now, a few weeks ago, Xbox had updated their pricing on the Xbox Game Pass, um, and a lot of people were really confused. I think they did a really poor job of explaining why. So basically, people were getting notifications saying that their subscription to Game Pass had changed from $19.99 to $29.99. And a lot of people were really confused by this because that was the only information that was given. There was no explanation why. There wasn't any reasoning to it. And I think a lot of people were sour to this because it had already been raised in the past. I think before it was either $11.99 or $14.99 or something like that, and then they ended up raising it to $19.99, so about $20. Which at the time that they had done that, they had added some new features to it, so it made a little bit more sense to do that. But when they announced it, there was no explanation given. There wasn't any reason to it. It was just sort of out of the blue. And a few days after they released that the price would be changing, they did actually send out emails explaining the reasoning. So I myself have Game Pass, so I will put what they sent me on the screen. But basically, what they said is, "Thank you for being a subscriber of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. We are planning to update our prices to address changing market conditions. This price change allows us to continue to bring you more value and great games for the very best gaming experience. Starting November 4th, 2025, the 1 month subscription price will be $29.99 plus applicable taxes every reoccurrence period unless you cancel up to 2 days prior to your next scheduled payment date. You can manage your subscription, how you pay, or cancel your subscription by visiting the Microsoft account here." And then they give a link to where you can update all of that stuff if you wish. Um, on mine, it says that my current plan is Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, and that the subscription price is changing from $19.99 to $29.99. So they had that basically is what they said before. Now they have given us reasons, and they've expanded on what the new benefits are. So they went on to say this includes benefits such as new games on day one, including new Xbox published games and third party games, 500 plus games on Xbox console, PC, and supported devices, Fortnite Crew coming in November, play titles like EA Sports FC, The Sims, Star Wars, and other fan favorites with EA Play, access to 50 plus iconic games from Ubisoft Plus Classics, the ability to stream games at the best quality with the shortest wait times, including select games that you own, unlock in-game benefits in League of Legends, Call of Duty Warzone, Rainbow Six Siege, and more of the biggest games. And you have the ability to join your friends to play, chat, and explore together with online console multiplayer. And then they go on to say, "We are constantly working to improve our service, and that means providing you with a variety of options that best fit your gaming needs and budget." And then they give a link to the Xbox Game Pass website to view the different plans that you can buy, or if you don't want the new benefits that you can change to. And then they give another link explaining how you can cancel your subscription if you no longer want to be paying it. And yeah, then they give a short thanks. They say, "Thank you for being an Xbox Game Pass subscriber. We'll continue to strive to deliver you high quality games, amazing value, and an incredible gaming experience." So that basically went over all of the benefits that you get. Now, some of those aren't new. Um, I when I first read it, I saw that big list and I was like, oh wow, they're adding a lot. However, reading into it, they did list some things that were already included, such as being able to play, chat, explore with your friends in online console multiplayer, having access to over 500 games on the Xbox console, PC, and other devices. I'm not sure how many day one games there were. I think there were some day one games in the past, but this is just reinforcing that there are going to be more day one games that are published by Xbox as well as some other third parties. I think the main benefit here is they are starting to have in-game benefits for certain games, such as they mention League of Legends, Call of Duty Warzone, Rainbow Six, and Fortnite. Fortnite Crew is actually a big one. So myself, I'm paying for Game Pass Ultimate as well as Fortnite Crew. However, with this is actually saving me money because I will no longer have to pay the $12 in order to have the crew. This it will just have it included in my subscription to Game Pass, which is really nice because, as I mentioned before, it saves me money. Granted, it's like $2, but still, it saves me money. So I think that for some people, this is going to be worth it, while others, I totally understand why they would be upset about it. You know, if you have like one game that you play, you're not going to want to spend an extra $10 to have, in-game cosmetics or in-game benefits. They don't really say what it is. I'm assuming for some of them it is cosmetics. Like for example, Fortnite, the crew is literally all cosmetics that has no pay to win aspects. I don't know about League of Legends, Call of Duty, or Rainbow Six. I don't actually know what other games they're mentioning because they do say they do say more of the biggest games. So I'm not sure exactly what they mean by that, but like I said, I'm not sure if it's just, like, oh, you get a skin in Rainbow Six or you get a bundle in Call of Duty Warzone, I'm not sure if it's cosmetics like that or if it actually gives some, not necessarily pay to win, but a boost to your account in certain games. So that remains to be seen. We'll see when it comes out. Change is set, I believe it said on November 4th, 2025. So we'll start to see all of that when the changes drop. But yeah, we do finally have an answer as to why the Game Pass price jumped. Granted, it is $10 extra, so I totally understand why people were originally outraged. They didn't really give an explanation at first, and they really only explained it after the backlash. So I think that was a pretty poor job on Microsoft's part. However, they did explain it, so it's up to you to decide if you think the changes are worth it. Are they worth the extra $10? Like I said, for some people, it's going to be really worth it. For me, I'm saving money and getting more value out of my subscription. So I I will cancel my Fortnite Crew subscription, but I'm still going to technically gain it through having the Game Pass. But yeah, so really it's up to the players to decide whether they want to keep it as it is or go back to a different plan on Xbox Game Pass. Like I said, I have Game Pass Ultimate, so um, this is the most expensive version. However, um, they did give the reasons as to why they decided to raise the price. So, the next thing we have to talk about is this is a little bit of older news. This came out in late September. So, basically, a customer called Costco to ask about their Xbox stock. He wanted to pick up an Xbox, and he was told that they no longer carry Xbox consoles. So, the quote specifically that he was told was, "We don't have any plans going forward to carry an Xbox console." And they went on to say that it was a business decision, but that they did have some great deals on Nintendo Switches and PlayStations. And this was pretty interesting. There's no real reason that they gave for it. They pretty much only said that it was a business decision, not really expanding on why. However, there are some other stores that have said they are also following this. So, in certain stores, such as I believe Walmart and Target, Xbox Series X has a listing. However, it's only available for pickup. And that is depending on whether the local store specifically has any availability. But that being said, it still needs to be shipped to the store. There's no Xboxes in the store, their stock isn't there. And there's some other reportings on Reddit basically saying that, Target has gone through a remodeling and that there are some Xbox games still on the shelves, but really like the whole Xbox section has like gone away. Other people are reporting similar cases in their Walmarts and their Targets. And one user also mentioned that in their Best Buy, they have also taken down their Xbox section. And really, they haven't really given an explanation as to why. I have a theory. My guess is that it's not necessarily a store decision, but an Xbox decision. Not that Xbox doesn't want them selling their consoles in the store. However, Xbox in the past 2 to 3 years has really made a shift from, being this at-home console, sitting down, having the console on your like mantle or whatever. They've really gone from this old school image of like what it means to be a console to more so like a streaming service, especially with like their servers. Like you can, I was talking to some people today about you know if you have like a smart TV, that's an Xbox basically. Like you can just hook up your controller to the TV and stream Xbox games through their streaming service, so you don't even need to go out and buy a console realistically. Like you could go, just buy a $60, $80 controller, not spend the $500 on a console, and just play on your TV that can download the Xbox app. And then, you basically have an Xbox right there and you don't have to worry about anything. uh, you know, Even to the point where like on your phone, you can stream games on your phone, no problem. I've been out of town, away from my Xbox, but I'll bring a controller and I can hook it up to my phone, and stream games on my phone while also using the controller. Granted, it's not the best experience. Obviously, you would want to use it on, say, like a computer more likely or a TV. However, it is still possible. You have access to your Xbox games from pretty much anywhere. So, it does feel like they're making this shift from, you know, a at-home sit-down console to anywhere you go, you have access to your games. Especially with their new release of the Rogue Ally X and the Rogue Ally. Um, I might be saying those wrong. If I messed up on the name, I'll put the real name on screen. But especially with their release of their handheld console, that's basically an Xbox that streams games from their server, from Steam, from EA, from Epic, from whatever launcher you own it on. You can pretty much play anything on that, except for Nintendo games, obviously. However, the point I'm trying to make is, Xbox has drastically changed their business model from, at home sit down console to take on the go, and wherever you are, you have access to your games. And, part of that is not lugging around a giant box wherever you go. Even within the past year, I mean, their slogan has changed to "This is an Xbox." In all the commercials, you see like a phone, a TV, all these other devices that aren't, or that are everyday devices. Their slogan is, this is an Xbox. So personally, I think that's the reason they're being discontinued in stores or in some stores. Um, but that's just me. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. If I missed anything, please let me know in the comments. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. And I will see you in the next one. Take care.